you speak. Now it's when I had to her lies you find your tongue.
I went to Master Shaw's plantation.
You admit it?
Yes.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today, we're counting down our picks for the most acclaimed films that captured a different slice of American history with surprising accuracy.
You actually carry that around with you?
Why?
No reason.
What's the most common double consonant in the English language?
Consonant?
The double L.
Number 10, The Big Short.
It's like insurance on the bond, and if it goes bust, you can make 10 to 1, even 20 to 1 return, and it's already slowly going bust.
The Big Short is a stylish, meticulous retelling of the events leading up to the 2008 financial crisis. Based on true events and real-life figures, the movie is a deep dive into the complex financial instruments, regulatory failures, and rampant greed that caused the housing market to implode.
I work for the bank. I don't think like a bank. Big bank, small bank, I like to make money. All right? Let me put it this way. I'm standing in front of a burning house, and I'm offering you fire insurance on it.
The movie frequently breaks the fourth wall, employing several high-profile figures and dramatic reenactments to explain exactly how the economy collapsed. Sure, it blends some details and individuals for the sake of storytelling, but otherwise the film stays largely accurate. By sticking to the facts in such a fun and interesting way, The Big Short provides a compelling and educational insight into one of America's most significant economic disasters.
Okay, I'm a chef on a Sunday afternoon, setting a menu at a big restaurant. I ordered my fish on Friday, which is the mortgage bond that Michael very shorted. But some of the fresh fish doesn't sell. I don't know why. Maybe it just came out halibut has the intelligence of a dolphin.
Number 9, Till.
I need to prepare you.
Remove the sheet.
The brutal lynching of Emmett Till stands as one of the darkest chapters in American history. His murder and the ridiculous trial that followed galvanized civil rights activists around the country. This film stays true to the real-life events, shining a harsh light on the systemic racism and injustice prevalent in 1950s America.
Bo, when you get down there...
Not again, Mama. I've already been in Mississippi.
Only one time before, and you started a fight with another little boy.
He was picking on me.
It dramatically reconstructs the key moments surrounding his killing and the societal uproar that ensued. At its heart, the movie chronicles the relentless quest of his mother, Mamie Till, to seek justice for Emmett, a crusade that ultimately echoed across the entire nation. This fight wasn't hers alone, it became America's fight.
Now, Bo, you know it's time for you to go to bed.
Oh.
You know you got a big day tomorrow. Come on, give Grandma a hug.
Number 8, All the President's Men.
I think it's obvious they're trying to bug O'Brien. They wouldn't go all that trouble to bug secretaries.
No, there's no proof.
Well, wait a minute. I called a lawyer in Miami. I know he said 4 of the guys that were arrested were from Miami. Gonzalez, Martinez, Sturgis, and Barker.
In a world where the mainstream media is widely despised, it's easy to forget that there was a time when Americans viewed the press as a vital part of democracy. Films like The Post and All the President's Men remind us of journalism's glory days, when it took on corrupt politicians head-on.
I'll keep you in the right direction if I can, but that's all. Just follow the money.
The Washington Post led this charge in the 1970s, famously exposing the excesses of Richard Nixon. While 2017's The Post shows the immense pressure put on the paper's owner by the D.C. establishment, All the President's Men tells how reporters Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein broke the Watergate scandal. Filmmakers took accuracy as their watchword, even faithfully recreating the Washington Post newsroom down to using the paper's actual garbage.
I trust you saw the New York Times. Yeah. The study, the one they are working off of, that was commissioned by Robert McNamara.
Yeah.
And if he commissioned it, he might have a copy.
Number 7, Bridge of Spies.
Let's start here. If you are firm in your resolve not to cooperate with the U.S. government...
I am.
Yeah. Then do not talk to anybody else about your case, inside of government or out. Except to me, to the extent that you trust me.
Bridge of Spies is Steven Spielberg's faithful representation of intense negotiations between the United States and the Soviet Union. It centers on the true story of lawyer James B. Donovan, who orchestrated the exchange of American pilot Francis Gary Powers for Soviet spy Rudolf Abel. The film covers the nitty-gritty of the events and the tense political climate at the time. Powers, for example, was a pariah in the American public, despised for being captured alive.
I've got no client, no wife, no country. Don't know what I'm doing, or when, or who for.
You're doing it for your country, but your country doesn't know that yet.
What about my client, the other person in this equation, my guy?
Bridge of Spies masterfully portrays the delicate intricacies of espionage, as well as the legal and diplomatic hoops Donovan had to jump through. The film's attention to detail and commitment to factual events earned rave reviews from Cold War historians.
My instructions were to feel out the situation.
Your instructions were to get powers, not fire. That was not the original deal. You fouled it all up.
How do you know? I feel pretty good about it.
Number 6. Tora, Tora, Tora.
日米戦避け得ざる時、私が連合艦隊司令長官である限り、真珠湾作戦は必ずやる。
Tora, Tora, Tora stands out as one of the most historically accurate war films ever produced by an industry that too often veers towards jingoism. It was a joint U.S. and Japanese production that employed the skills of technical consultants, many of whom either fought at Pearl Harbor or participated in planning the attack.
Look at that entrance to the harbor. Sink one good-sized ship in the channel and you've bottled up our whole fleet. Well, you know as well as I do, this harbor is a mousetrap.
The film shows both sides of the battle, diving deep into each military's strategy, decisions, and miscalculations. It incorporates detailed research, historical documents, and first-hand accounts to ensure authenticity. From costumes to equipment to locations, the film's commitment to detail shines through, delivering one of the most authentic depictions of Pearl Harbor ever brought to the big screen.
Gentlemen, I am convinced the Japanese intend to attack at or shortly after 1 o'clock today. I'll alert all Pacific commands.
Yes, sir.
Number 5. Zodiac.
I'm not sick, I am insane, but that will not stop the game. This letter should be published for all to read. He wants to be published, he calls it a game. I mean, this could be our boy.
In the 1960s and 70s, the Bay Area was terrorized by a self-aggrandizing serial killer known simply as the Zodiac. This individual delighted in sending cryptic letters to several newspapers, including the San Francisco Chronicle, daring reporters to find him. David Fincher's 2007 film Zodiac dramatizes the relentless pursuit of this elusive killer. The script was extensively researched for 18 months, taking details and real-life accounts from police reports, case files, and the book by Robert Graysmith.
You can't think of this case in normal police terms.
Why not?
You got 4 crime scenes: Solano, Vallejo, Berryessa, and here. Not a single usable print of the first 3 or in any of the letters?
With this treasure trove, the filmmakers managed to create historically accurate timelines, guided by personal stories from the real-life investigators and journalists. This painstaking attention to detail makes Zodiac not only gripping, but a faithful portrayal of this infamous case.
I'm not the Zodiac. And if I was, I certainly wouldn't tell you.
Number 4. Lincoln.
What would you do after the war, Corporal Cook?
Work, sir. Perhaps you'll hire me.
Perhaps I will.
Over the years, film sets have been rife with horror stories about method actors. But hanging out with Abraham Lincoln between takes probably wasn't a bad deal for the cast and crew of Lincoln. Steven Spielberg's epic focuses on January 1854, when President Lincoln worked behind the scenes with Congress to pass the 13th Amendment and abolish slavery. Critics have consistently hailed the 2012 movie as one of the most honest depictions of the 16th president.
I wanted to crawl under the earth, into the vault, with his coffin. And I still do. Every day I do. Speak to me about grief.
Since there are no records of any of the backroom deals to get the amendment passed, the details are largely fictional. Still, historians agree that the film's take is likely close to actual events.
I can't accomplish a goddamn thing of any human meaning or worth until we cure ourselves of slavery and end this pestilential war.
Number 3. Gettysburg.
There's always more land. It's the idea that we all have value. You and me.
The American Civil War was one of the bloodiest chapters in American history, leaving behind racial and economic scars still felt today. As such, it has been examined by Hollywood time and time again, with multiple aspects and battles drawing focus. The 1989 film Glory, for example, focused on the 54th Massachusetts, one of the Union's first black infantry regiments.
Come on, bro. Where's your pride now?
Make your mark right here.
Huh? Look, hey.
I can write my name. Then do it.
Yet few films can boast the historical fidelity of Gettysburg, which was called, quote, the most accurate Civil War film ever made by historical consultant Brian Pohanka. The filmmakers went all out, hiring passionate reenactors to recreate the wardrobe, actions, and look of the actual regiments. The result is a near-perfect, step-by-step depiction of perhaps the war's most important battle.
Sir, give me one division, and I will take that hill. And he said nothing. He just stood there. He stared at me. I said, General Ewell, give me one brigade.
Number 2, 12 Years a Slave.
The reason for our inquiry with Mr. Moon.
Yes, we are just a devil of a time in procuring music for entertainments. Men of true talents are seemingly in short supply.
Thank you, sir.
Solomon Northup's autobiography told the harrowing tale of a black man who was born free in the North, but was then kidnapped and sold into slavery. The book was a bestseller at the time, but it was mostly lost to history until Steve McQueen's Oscar-winning 2013 adaptation. Hollywood has a long history of tackling slavery with kid gloves. The same cannot be said of 12 Years a Slave. McQueen chose not to shy away from the brutality of the subject, diving deep into the slave markets and plantations of the South, while some details were changed for expediency. The film remains a historically and emotionally accurate portrayal of the abject cruelty and barbarism of chattel slavery.
I survive! I will not fall into despair. I will offer up my talents to Master Ford. I will keep myself hardy till freedom is opportune.
So Ford is your opportunity?
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Spotlight. A team of reporters uncover a harrowing scandal and cover-up in a Catholic church.
I don't need to tell you guys this. We need to be more discreet than usual, all right? Everybody's going to be interested in this, not just the Herald. We can't let Cardinal Law get wind of this till we know what we have.
On the Basis of Sex. This biopic tells the story of how RBG transformed into a notorious legal icon.
When I was in law school, there was no women's bathroom. It's amazing to me now that we never complained.
Flags of Our Fathers, and Letters from Iwo Jima. Clint Eastwood directed a pair of films showing both sides of the Battle of Iwo Jima.
Ask any smart boy on Wall Street. He'll tell you our dollar's next to worthless. We borrowed so much, and nobody is lending any more. Ships aren't being built. Tanks aren't being built. Machine guns, bazookas, hand grenades, zip.
The Longest Day. This massive ensemble film portrays multiple real stories from the D-Day invasion.
Hey, how much did you take them for?
Oh, not much. Just a hair over 2,500.
2,500?
Yeah.
Oh, man, 2,500? It's too bad you had to win it now.
October Sky. A group of teens in coal country follow their passion for rocketry in 1950s West Virginia.
I don't allow dangerous devices on school grounds.
Mr. Turner, I asked Homer to bring that to school.
Showed in class.
You know, the boys are thinking about entering that county science fair.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into Settings and switch on your notifications. Number 1, Apollo 13.
Okay, we're into program 64. 105G, so we're feeling that gravity now.
Houston, we are at 400,000 feet, passing entry interface.
Not to lose signal. Re-entry data is nominal, and we have radio blackout.
When President Kennedy delivered his famous moonshot speech in 1962, he ignited the American imagination. NASA's success in the 1960s and 70s kept that spark alive, and Hollywood hasn't stopped chasing it since. First Man, for example, details Neil Armstrong's grueling journey to become the first human to walk on the moon.
I'm hoping that's just excess hydrogen.
I think I'm going to save mine for later. Little treat.
But Ron Howard's Apollo 13 captures the tension and horror of one of NASA's most harrowing missions. An explosion on their spacecraft derailed the plans of Apollo 13 astronauts to land on the moon. The film provided 90s audiences with a window into the real tension and fear experienced by the astronauts, their families, NASA, and the public as they tried to find a way home.
Uplink telemetry, command module to accept, right?
That's affirmed. Go ahead and try it.
How accurate is our list? If you have a film about American history that feels real, let us know in the comments below.
Shall we stop this bleeding?
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.